Hi YouTube, it's me TF for Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and it's review time. I've got a KTRT review to do for you. I've actually got 3 KTRTs this month. So this is the first of 3 KTRT reviews you're going to be seeing being uploaded on the remaining sort of Saturday mornings for the rest of the month. Obviously this is going up as a scheduled upload on the Saturday the 14th. And the next one will go up on the 21st, and then the third one will go up on the 28th. So you've been fair warned. 3 Korean toy reviews this month. Right, this one. It's a figure that has been on my radar for quite a while, and I'd sort of overlooked it or passed over it mainly because the price of the thing. It's a really big bot, and it was really expensive. It's kind of like a, well, I don't know how to put it. It's got a gimmick, which means that it comes with a lot of extra pieces, and because of that, they're bigger and more expensive than the regular figures. I've got one of them already, and it's this guy. This is Hello Carbot's I Ain't. He's the first of what they refer to as the Carbot crew figures, or as KR Brickbot refers to them as crew masters. Yes, because he's done a few reviews on these figures, and he's coined the phrase of calling them crew masters because they come with the little dudes. They come with all these little crew guys. Yeah, because he's got them on the other side as well. There you go. He's got 6 little guys tucked away in the back of his truck mode. So yeah, I got this guy. I did a review on him a while ago. Well, it's a few years ago now. Came out as part of the 2017 season or whatever it was. I think it was season 6 or 7, something like that. Anyway, so I bought him. He's pretty good, and they did more figures using this, this Carbot crew gimmick. And I was looking at getting them, and they were a bit of a mixed bag. There was, what was the next one? Oh yeah, Inuk, the helicopter. It's like a twin rotor, like a Chinook style helicopter. Didn't care much for the aesthetic on that one, so that's why I passed on that one. Then there's this one, which I've got now. And then they did 2 more later on called Mediant, which was like a big bulky, sort of like ambulance. And then they did a fire truck called Fiant. And I quite like the look of Fiant. I'd like to get Fiant, but unfortunately Fiant is kind of rare, and as he's one of these Carbot crew figures, he's like ridiculously expensive. So I doubt if I'll be buying him unless the same thing happens to him as happened with this guy. Now, I've had a bit of bother with 11th Street lately, trying to buy stuff off it because my Google Chrome browser was blocking my purchases because it was flagging up the website as being unsafe. And to cut a long story short, I had to basically reset it. I was trying to log in using browsers on other other machines like the Samsung sort of Android browser on my phone, and also this computer here with its Microsoft Edge browser. I was trying to log into my account, but I couldn't because the password wasn't working. Turns out there was a fault with the password, so I had to reset the password. And when I did, everything worked. And as a tester to see if the using a different browser was going to make any difference, I decided to go onto 11th Street and look to a cheap figure to buy. And I was looking to get one of the minifigures, and then I saw this guy, and he was like heavily discounted. I'm not joking. I mean, these things usually go for about at least 60, 70 quid. And he was marked down to about just around 20 quid. And I thought, yeah, why not? So I pulled the trigger on him. Obviously, with the postage, it came to just over 40 quid. And then a few days later, I got the dreaded, oh, you haven't paid enough for postage. Send us some more money for postage, please. So I had to send him an extra 10 quid for postage. So I paid just over 51 quid for this, which is still a good price when you can see what you get for your money. Right, so obviously seen on the thumbnail what I've bought. Let's have a look at the box. Here's the box for the guy. Now that is a big box. Put it next to Pentastorm X. It's almost as big as Pentastorm X in combiner mode. Yeah, so this is his box. Hasn't got the plastic window. It's just just a cardboard tome. It's got all the gumph on the back, bit on the side, stuff on the bottom, and your product information is on the bottom. Like KR Brickbot likes to go into detail, saying, "Oh, it came out in this month of this year, blah blah blah." Sorry, mate, I'm just having a little bit of a jab at you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so and there's a plastic clamshell inside that holds all the pieces. And being a Carbot crew figure, he came with the little blokes. They're kind of like sort of bigger versions of like Lego minifigures, and you have to, a little bit of assembly is required. They've got stickers you have to put on their chest and their face, and then you have to put these clear plastic visors on. But anyway, here he is in his alt mode, and his name is Ricops, as in Ricops. Now I've seen him called Ricops, or as in REA, and a number of different variations on the name, but KR Brickbot, he did it as Ricops, so I'm going with Ricops, and that's what I'm calling him. So yeah, here he is in his police mode, and he's a big old police bot, right? I don't know what the name of his Carbot crew is, but they're all about policing, security, that sort of thing, catching bad guys, upholding the law, all that sort of stuff. And this is his alt mode, and it's kind of like a big old SWAT van without the SWAT. This is what Hello Carbot's Sky SWAT X should have transformed into. Something like this. A big butch, police van. So, as you can see, it's black with lots of silver sort of highlights. It's got some blue bits showing. It's got nice large wheels. But you can see it's got these star logos into the wheels. And there's quite a lot of star logos on the robot mode when we get into the robot mode, as you'll see. Yeah, it's got a big silver grille. It's got some painted lights. It's got transparent windows. You actually got the Carbot crew inside. You can just see them in the driver's seat, and there's some more in the back, which we'll get to in a moment. And you go around the back, and you've got some exposed jointage, and then underneath robot junk. It's a big vehicle. It's decently heavy, but when you put him next to this guy, and then weigh them up. This guy is considerably heavier, and just to prove this, I put them on the scales earlier, and basically, Iant, all tooled up with all his accessories attached in vehicle mode, came out at 880 grams. This guy, again tooled up with all his accessories and his crew, only 730, and then when you get into the base robot modes, 790 grams for Iant and 620 for this guy. He's considerably lighter, and when you get into robot mode, that becomes a lot more apparent, mainly because of the way this guy is designed. To get the the Carbot crew into his vehicle mode, he's got a lot of large empty voids in his vehicle mode and in his robot mode to accommodate this. Whereas this guy, he's just got, they're in the back, and when he transforms, this truck bed becomes a flat pack on his back, so all that empty space just disappears, and it just becomes a big flat sail on his back. But anyway, so the vehicle mode, black police truck, big wheels, rolls really well. The usual sort of Carbot plastic. You can see it's got a nice sheen to it. It's got details. It's got like transparent windows. It's got police lights on the top. It's got some more windows down the side. You can see the Carbot crew guys inside. And then he's got these bits on top. Now he's got these accessories. And these are his accessories you can actually plug in on the vehicle mode. You've got these two, I assume they're water cannons. This one does tend to get they do tend to get unclipped rather easily. Which is a bit annoying, but anyway. So you can use them as water cannons, and they just plug into the top, and then you can just unplug them because there's like plug-in holes there. And then there's this other accessory which you can take off, and it's this large set of handcuffs, which is largely for his robot mode. So you take the accessories off, and we'll use them a bit later, and then you get the basic vehicle mode. But there's a bit more to it than that. As he's a crew master, or he's a Carbot crew vehicle, he has his crew on board. So what you do is you open the back there like that, and there is two of his crew members. Now each of the crew members has a theme, it has an accessory, and you know, like an icon on his chest to denote what he does. So we'll take these two out here. They do plug in quite well. Oh, and take the other one out. So this guy is binoculars dude, and then this one, he's got like a flashlight or a torch on his back. You can plug the accessories on the back and plug them into the vehicle, so all the accessories can be attached to the robot or the vehicle in vehicle mode. So that's quite good. So as you can see, he's got this big empty void here, which we'll see a bit later in robot mode. So you shut that, and you go around the other side, and you open that up, and you've got two more. You pull them out. That guy has got handcuffs, and this guy has got, he's got a nightstick. Right, so shut that, and then you've got these panels at the front which flip up, and then you've got two Carbot, you know, crew guys actually riding in the cockpit of the vehicle. So take this guy out, and he's got a drone on his back. So he's got a drone for you know, filming people, you know, and then this guy's got like a Riot Shield. So all the little Carbot crew dudes, and then you can sort of shut that. So then here he is in his basic vehicle mode with all the accessories removed. Still a big chunky vehicle. So we'll get into transformation now. So start, flip those up. You can then unplug this, and as you can hit very loud ratchets, bring that down, and that's the legs, and then you fold these panels forward and then split the legs, and that's the legs done. Then separate the arms, bring the shoulders down, rotate forwards, and then fold out, unclip and fold out the arm, and then rotate it forwards. Do the same on this side, unplug, fold down, rotate forwards, and then finally turn his head round. And there we go. There is Ricops in his robot mode, and I quite like the look of this thing. I like the, obviously he's got the big sort of sheriff star on his chest. He's got like he's got his head. He's kind of like got a riot helmet on. He's got like a visor which doesn't come down over his eyes, though he does have light piping. Can't really show it here, but he has got light piping, and it does work reasonably well. He's got orange light piping, that works quite well. He's got a bunch of painted detail on his chest, on his abs section, a little bit on his waist. And then you go down, like, look at the legs, and he's got some silver bits down here. Obviously, they're the ports where that thing plugs in, even though it doesn't actually live in the this mode. And then you turn him round, and he's like really clean on the back. It's like really clean. He's got hardly, well, no kibble on the back whatsoever. It's completely flat. And then on the front, most of the kibble is in his legs and on his arms. That's where the vehicle is. Now he does, like I said, this guy, because he's a Carbot, you know, crew guy, he has got a lot of voids in his body, and when he's in robot mode, he doesn't, even though he's a big chunky bot, he doesn't actually feel very chunky. I mean, shall we just transform this guy very quickly? Right, so here is Iant in his robot mode, and when you put the two side by side, you can see that Ricops is a little bit taller. He's quite a bit taller, and he's a bigger bot all round. But like I said, this guy just feels a lot more substantial, and that's largely because of his weight, and he's also got a lot of mass down in his legs. Whereas this guy, unfortunately, because of his gimmick, his legs are completely empty. They're just full of space, which is where the Carbot crew goes in vehicle mode, they go inside these voids inside his legs. So his legs are very hollow and very lightweight, and it just doesn't give him that mass down low that this guy has got, because his legs are made up about bits of cab of the truck, and you can see there's big thick chunky bits of plastic down there, and there's a fair bit of weight in his lower half that helps keep him planted when you put him down somewhere. And this guy not so much. Now this guy also has another problem with his design, and it concerns his legs. Now if I just move the arms out of the way, if you look at his legs, you can see his legs, they stick out the front, and if you look, his knees are right in the back of his legs. So he's got all this sticking out the front, and when you try to get him to stand up, he doesn't look quite right. He looks like he's leaning backwards, and to get him to stand up on something other than a completely flat surface, good luck with that, because he'll just fall over backwards. It's a shame because he's got these voids here, these little platforms here, which when in vehicle mode you can get one of the Carbot crew and they can sort of ride on the back. That's part of the gimmick of the Carbot crew figures. But if they'd have modified this guy and put his knee joint in the front of his leg rather than the back, it would have been a lot better. But obviously they designed it this way for a reason, and the figure suffers as a result. So yeah, the legs. I'm not too taken with the legs, the hollowness of them, and the fact that the actual design and layout of them, not great. Upper torso, it's got a great torso. A quick go on the articulation. Obviously he's got a head rotation. You've got the ratcheted shoulders that go all the way round. Now he's got a joint there for transformation, and he's got a joint in his arm, so he can get his arms up pretty high. He also has swivel, which has to be said is something that I ain't got, or rather he hasn't got. So he hasn't got bicep swivels, which sort of hurts him really, because his elbows sort of do that sideways elbow action, whereas this guy he's got proper working elbows that work forwards, and his fists face forwards as well. So yeah, he's got bicep swivels, and he's got an elbow joint. His arms are a bit stubby and chunky because of the design of the alt mode, but his upper torso is okay. It's when you get downstairs, he doesn't have a waist joint. Now, mine has a couple of minor QC issues, and one of them is one of the hip ratchets is jarring a bit. So that one, it's all right going that way, but going the other way, you can hear it's catching. This one is like, that one's a bit better, but the ratchets in the hips ain't great. He does have thigh swivels. I mean, he can do full splits. Got biceps, thigh swivels, and he has got a knee bend that goes to 90 degrees with a very, very loud ratchet. Nothing on the feet apart from his toe, which can sort of bend up and down. But because of the design of his legs, it's difficult to get him into dynamic poses, because he just hasn't got the balance, and he hasn't got the weight down low to keep him balanced because of all that hollowness in his lower legs. So it's a shame really. I mean, the fact that this guy is a gimmick toy, it does hurt him a little bit, with the old crew crewmaster gimmick. Now the figures, the accessories, right? So okay, he's got the handcuffs. They will plug into his hand. He can arrest monsters and other robots, and put the cuffs of justice on them. And then the other piece, this thing. Now you can plug it in his fist. You could give him two spiky things, or if you go around the back, there's another peg in the back where you can actually plug the other one in the back and make it look like he's carrying a lance or something. So there is that. The Carbot crew guys do have some interactivity with him. You've got these were the cockpits for the van, which are now on his shoulders, and they have little pegs inside, so you can So you can plug them up in the shoulders where they can have a good viewpoint of you know, anything that's going on. There's also these platforms here with multiple pegging ports, so you could have a guy sort of stood on there, or you can have one I don't know. There's a few places where you can actually plug these guys in, and you know, for playability purposes. And yeah, it's the whole Carbot crew thing is an interesting gimmick. The figures themselves. Let's have a quick look at these figures. So there we go. There's one of them. This is the Riot Shield guy. So he has the Riot Shield. It has a peg on the back, and you can plug it into his hand, and he's got a Riot Shield. Now they do have other ports. They have ports in the side of their head. They have ports in the back of their legs. They have pegs in the side of their legs, and they have ports in the bottom of their feet. So, you know, you could plug this thing in his foot. You could plug it in the back of his leg. You could plug it in the side of his head. If, you know, you could turn his head, shield head. So yeah, they've got a decent amount of playability. Articulation, they've got ball jointed shoulders, so you know the arms can move all around. The legs are just on a straightforward 90-degree pivot that goes forward. So like I said, they're very similar to, you know, like a Lego minifigure, and also obviously the head rotates as well. And these guys can also they can plug together in like a tower. Now the problem with this one is his helmet's got these little antennas sticking off the top, which kind of get in the way. Which is a bit annoying, but you get the point. You can sort of plug them together in like a little pyramid. So you could do that with them. And then the other accessories, you got the guy with the binoculars. Put them in his hands, and you can kind of make him look. The problem is, because of the way the pegs are aligned, it's difficult sometimes to get some of the accessories into the hands to make it look like they're actually using it, and that's a bit irritating, to tell the truth. The flashlight guy, I mean, you just put the flashlight in the front and you can just point it at things, or you could plug it in the side of his head. So the cuffs guy, I mean, he's got like a mini version of the handcuffs that the big guy's got. So yeah, he's got that. And then there's the drone. It's a little drone, so you know, he can hold it like he's ready to launch it. And then we've got the nightstick, or the baton, you know, so he can beat somebody, to beat some let's say there's a load of protesters at a march, you know, just give them a good beat down, because they're not following the law, they're breaking the law, and they're causing an affray. So yeah, give them a good old beating, police brutality and all that, you know. And then obviously the shield guy, which I've already shown. So yeah, you get all these things with these crew figures, and just to prove a point, obviously, here's all the other figures that came with I Ain't. So yeah, he came with a bunch of them as well. Similar sort of deal. Now his crew they're like fix it, you know, because I Ain't's big deal, or big thing that he does is he's like a handyman. He goes around and repairs things, whereas Cockpits is all about, you know, upholding the law, you know, sort of dealing with criminals, you know, blah blah blah. And that's what his little crew guys do. So yeah, that's about as much as I can say about this guy. I mainly bought him because he was cheap, because he'd been marked down. He was a discounted price, heavily discounted. If you go on G Market or 11th Street now and look for this guy, you might find a few sellers who are selling it for less than 20 quid. 20 quid for a figure this big. Obviously, you have to pay the shipping on top of that, which is another 20 plus quid. So you're paying the best part of like 45, 50 quid to get hold of one of these. But, you can say he's worth it. He's a lot of bot for, 50 quid. I mean, 50 quid, my usual size comparison, look how much bigger he is than a leader class figure. I mean, this is a proper leader class figure. Look how big he is. He's like as big as a commander class, this guy, at least. And I know you put him next to Pentastorm X, and he's not far off Pentastorm X in terms of size. But, he just feels a bit lightweight, and that's due to all the hollowness in his shoulders and in his legs. He hasn't got the plastic mass that, I-Ain't has got. This guy's got a lot more plastic in him. But he's still not a bad figure. The design of his legs is a little awkward. But he's bright, he's colourful, he's got an interesting design, he's got an interesting alt mode. He's a pretty cool figure, and if you're looking to buy it, now's the time to buy it, because like I said, it must be shelf warming in Korea. And if you go on 11th Street and G Market right now, you might be able to pick this guy up really cheap. So I can, if you want one, I thoroughly recommend you go on those sites and just pick one up right now. So yeah, that's been my review of this guy. First of 3 Korean reviews that I will be doing this month, because I've bought 3 Korean toys. And so hopefully you've found this interesting. And I've been Zivol Wilderness, and I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da!